Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here. You know who it is, doing another quick review, this time of the new At the Drive-In album. You know the band, legendary post-hardcore and hardcore punk outfit with elements of progressive rock in there as well. Of course, Omar and Cedric would go on to do the Mars Volta and a load of different side projects and solo projects. If you're a fan, you know the whole story. Now, given that this is their comeback record, it's been well over a decade since the band released their last album. And considering that that record is probably their best, without argument, their most critically acclaimed, their most widely acclaimed album, stakes on this new record are high. You know, you got the time factor, you got that last album was the greatest album factor, and it's not looking too good. You know, you already know that I think that comeback albums can be really hit or miss, and this, in my opinion, is one of the instances where it is a miss. But it's kind of just a subtle miss. You know, if you're a fan and you listen to this record with your fan visors on, shouldn't really be a problem. You know, shouldn't really have an issue getting through this album and relatively enjoying it. But you know what? Honestly, it's not the same. And I personally was hoping that going into this record, the band would do their best, Omar and Cedric would do their best to bring back at least a little bit the amazing footprint that the band left us with their older music. But on this new record over here, I feel like the incredible intensity of the band's past records is gone. I feel like the unique approach to writing riffs and grooves, occasionally, which was very angular, is kind of gone. And I feel like there's not so much on this album in terms of dynamics too. It is a little bit of a thrash and bash fest, though I'm not saying that this is the most extreme At the Drive-In album thus far. Not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that I feel like the structures are a little bit more plain and basic on this record. This doesn't so much feel like a post-hardcore album with undertones of progressive rock sort of mixed in there. This to me feels more like an alternative rock album with a punk edge, honestly, which is conceptually doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but it does lead to a lack of surprises. I think a lack of excitement. It actually sounds more like that Anti-Mask album that Omar and Cedric dropped a few years back than it does any record in At the Drive-In's back catalog. Which to me, I don't think that's a very good thing. You know, I was hoping that again the band would bring their sound back with a vengeance, or you know, I'm not against evolution either. You know, or bring some kind of radical change that would be equally exciting. But instead, I feel like we're just kind of getting some paler, lesser than take or version of what the band has delivered to us in the past. You know, I don't really care for hearing this alt rock sound on an At the Drive-In record, and there are moments where the choruses and the riffs have this weirdly macho vibe to them, which previously I've never really gotten off the band's music before. It seems almost like they're it seems almost like they're flirting with cock rock a little bit on this record. Which again for me was kind of like a turn off while I was listening to it. I don't really know what to say as far as you know, like the production on the album or anything. I guess it's fine. You know, I don't really think the recording or the mixing of the album is terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world. You know, really, it's just that the band's style and approach to writing these songs has fallen so short in my eyes. You know, again, there's not a whole lot of intricacy here, in my opinion. It seems very basic in comparison with past At the Drive-In albums. And you know, even if it isn't as rough as like their debut, for example, in terms of the sound, yeah, it just didn't really do too much for me, honestly. I wish it did. I did like, you know, at least a couple of the singles leading into the record, but now that I kind of have had a chance to listen to the entire album, just the lack of interesting and creative and I guess novel ideas has sort of hit me, And it's just sort of striking me that, like, why not come out with another anti-mask record if this is the sound, if this is the style you were going to go for, you know? Because to me, that's really all you're doing. You know, you're really just kind of giving us an anti-mask record and just naming it At the Drive-In. To me, Omar and Cedric have not written or performed on the level that to me would say, okay, this is worthy of a comeback. This is worthy of, this is them bringing the band back from the dead, like, without question. This to me, again, it just kind of feels like another offshoot, another side project, another something else. It does not feel like an At the Drive-In record to me, you know. Only maybe in the sense that, you know, obviously Omar's playing style is there, Cedric's singing style is there. That obviously is a consistent element that you can compare to the band's older records. But I feel like those subtle nuances of the way that they used to write their guitar passages, the way that they used to structure their songs, it's just kind of gone. And that has always been a big part of the appeal for At the Drive-In for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. So, I don't know. But what are you thinking about this album? Did you love it, hate it, why? Let me know down in the comments, sorry. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Forever.